Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something we don't always talk enough about. A lot of times when it comes to lifting, we're always talking about doing heavy work, getting really strong at the big movements, and then, doing higher rep work with our smaller exercises. But I want to state that it is also perfectly acceptable and good programming to do high reps, right? With your big multi-joint exercises. Most of the stuff here is about 10 reps or so. All right, see me doing a bunch of rep work right here. What are we doing rep work on? Bench press, incline bench press, pull-ups, rows, back squats, more specifically high bar squats, right? Perfectly acceptable. Give them front squats. Probably the only exercise I don't regularly, and I say regularly doesn't mean never. You very rarely see me do or program really high reps on it, say a conventional deadlift, because that does tend to bury you. But all these other movements, I think that there's a place to be had for this. Yes, I will oftentimes prescribe really heavy work on our big classic type movements. And then, you'll see me prescribing really high reps for smaller stuff. But, stuff like that 8 to 10 rep range, that 8 to 12 rep range, I think is a phenomenal rep range for even your big exercises. And no, I don't believe in doing it in phases. I'm not big on periodization. I like concurrent training, right? So you can do a heavy 1 to 5 rep set on some of these exercises and then jump over and do 10s. And then you can do your small exercises. But it works very, very well. It's a great way to get thicker. It's a great way to build muscle mass. And it's something that I stand by for a lot of muscle building. Because, really, if people who watch my vlogs, and I think we need to be clear, occasionally people will watch one of these and go, well, I don't know what's going on in this workout. You might be looking at footage from 3 different workouts, guys. My vlogs, which have been running for years and years and years, have a date on them. They tell you everything that's in a workout, and you see all the sets in order, right? And I describe what I'm doing in that workout. So a lot of these, when I'm discussing topics, are just in the background. Okay, I'm really big on supersetting higher reps on these big movements. What does that mean? Pull-ups after every set of bench press, maybe set of rows after every set of incline bench. Right? I like to superset those opposing muscle groups, even for 10 rep sets. All right, and think about that in terms of just hypertrophy, helping you get in shape, helping your conditioning. It's good stuff, guys. That is really good stuff. And again, you want to talk about getting big as a strategy. Come in and do stuff like that. Do stuff like that. Now, other lower body stuff, I don't do that the same. I don't want to superset anything with a back squat. But what about a glute ham raise and a hanging leg raise, all that? Those are still somewhat big movements. They're still lower body movements. You can superset those things. If you're going to do small quad exercises, you can superset them with your glute and hamstring stuff. But definitely upper body. Won't that get you big pretty quick? Think about that for a minute and just your ability to get work done efficiently. Doing a set of pull, doing some higher rep benching, right? And then after every set, knock out a set of pull-ups back to back. Because you're going to take that couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes anyways between sets, right? You can do your opposing stuff with high reps. Now, here's where the caveat is. Some people are going to be like, you're over here repping a decent amount of weight for 10s. Now, granted, I'm weaker after doing heavier work, so I'm just working on like 225 there. People will say, well, that could be really tough. That would exhaust me if you're out of shape. But you know what? It'll help you get into shape. It'll help you get bigger. Again, let's talk about getting big. Let's talk about putting some muscle on. After you've done a little heavy work, come in and do stuff like that. Take these same big movements and do some real reps. Real reps. Let's do 8+, right? Because that's rep work to me. 2s, 3s, 5s, even 5 rep set is not truly, rep work. That's still relatively heavy. Okay. It's relatively heavy. 8+, that's rep work. Come in and do that stuff. And why can't you do that? My back has not suffered. People always know my back development is pretty good. I do a lot of supersetting like that. My back is done second. Right? Bench and then pull up. Incline and then row. Have it all set and just do it back to back to back. Pardon the pun there. And do the high reps. Do some reps. I'm not even talking about let's throw the weight at pull. No, do some high rep body weight pull-ups after you're pressing. Some high rep rows. You want a great way to get thick and get in shape. Don't be afraid of the high reps. And for a lot of people, they're laughing. People who only train higher reps are like, well, that's normal. Yeah, except that keep in mind, my channel, me, my followers, we all do heavy stuff on these big movements. You guys have watched me do 335 for 5 reps on a pause bench, right? I mean, you've seen me pull 550 for 4 reps. So on and so forth. Right? We move some big weights around here. But those movements do not have to be always restricted to that. We can get in and do some reps, and it will get you big. I mean, 10s on your back work, 10s on benching, incline benching, squats. You'll get thick on that stuff. Back, I mean, if you wanted to narrow it down to some movements that would get you real thick real quick, do high rep body weight pull-ups in between 8+ rep benching as supersets. Do some high rep squat. Do some 10s on your squats on Olympic style. Go full range of motion. All right, we generate a large amount of hypertrophy very, very quickly on these big movements, because think about the amount of work being done by all the muscles. It's a lot of work. That's a lot of quality work. This is part of how I've gotten a lot of my size. I'm a decent sized guy for being almost 50. So I'm cutting right now. Should be getting leaner. I'm getting leaner. But that's a big part of what I've done. It's not just the heavy sets. I do endorse this, and I think it's a good idea. And a lot of people, I've had a lot of clients who are scared of it. They're like, I don't want to do that really high rep stuff. I'm like, what do you mean? I gave you some 10s on benching and rows. Like, I don't want to do that. They're almost scared of it. It's like, why? You'll get thick. You'll get big. Especially if you do your heavy stuff first and come in and do that. And then after that, then do the real high reps on the small stuff to fill in your weak links. Right? All of the bicep work and whatever else you need. Right? I mean, that's a great recipe for success. Come in and do a really good heavy quality set on a barbell movement. Come in and do some 10s on some big exercises, supersets of stuff you can. And then take your weak links and come in and do 12+ rep smaller exercises, single joint stuff, isolation, whichever term you choose to use. You'll get big, guys. You'll get big doing that as long as you eat and sleep enough. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.